I'm Pepsi Watson, this is Crime and Justice TV, and in this video I'm going to talk about my first time at Feltham Young Offenders Institution in London. When I was sent to Feltham, I was 15 years old. 15. I was a child. I've come out of the courts, they've locked me in a court cell. I'm confused, scared, terrified, I don't know what's going on. I'm just waiting around, all I can hear is doors banging, keys, you've got the court officers outside, and I'm in this cell. I'm in this cell on my own, just not knowing what to expect. So they open my door. The keys open this steel door of this cell that I'm in, and they say, the bus is here. And I'm like, where am I going? Where am I going? And they said, Feltham. What the fuck? Feltham. My mind is just going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm going to get raped. I'm going to be gang raped. I'm going to be attacked. Just all this stuff's going through my mind at like 100 miles an hour. They've took me through the court underground, and they've handcuffed me. They've took me onto a white prison van, and they've put me into this tiny little plastic box. There's no seat belt, and I'm sitting in this box, and the van drives out from the court, and I head towards Feltham Young Offenders Institution to serve my first prison sentence. 9 months, that was the sentence. So I'm on this van, and it just feels like an eternity to get to Feltham. It's dark, it's raining, and I'm looking out of the window, and my head, you can't sleep because your head is smashing against the side of the window, the side of the door. It's uncomfortable. You're in a tiny little plastic box. All you can hear is the engine of the van, and your head's smashing against the sides of the box, so you can't sleep. And you're just looking outside of the window thinking, how the fuck did this happen? You don't know what to expect. You're scared, terrified. You're a child, you're only 15 years old. And you want the journey to just continue and continue and continue. You don't want the journey to stop. You don't want to get to Feltham. You don't want to get there. you just want to keep driving. Then the bus, the prison bus, it starts to slow down, and then it just hits you. The reality of this nightmare just hits you. You're arriving at Feltham, you can hear voices, you can hear radios. You can see through the side of the plastic box that you're sitting in, fences and barbed wire, and all the fear just hits you, and then you stop. And you can hear beeping and keys and voices, and then the engine cuts off. The engine cuts off of the van, and it's just silent other than the keys and the shouting and the voices. And you're just sitting there and you feel cold and empty and hopeless and scared and lost. And then they open your door and you put your hands out, they cuff your hands. You stand up, you come out of the van, you come down the steps of the van, and then you walk in to a prison reception, and it's all green, and it's got this weird smell. I now know later as an adult that smell is the prison sheets, the prison bed sheets, the plastic, the smoke, the plastic from the plastic bowls and the cups and the cutlery, and this musty kind of freshness from the prison trainers. And my mind's a bit blurry, you know, this is 22 years ago, my mind's a bit blurry, but I remember being in the reception, terrified, being taken into a room, and the prison officer, he's like, strip. So I'm used to being stripped because I've been arrested so many times at this point in my life, but now it's kind of more intense because it's not in a police custody suite, it's in this dark, gloomy, green, scary, frightening environment that is Feltham Young Offenders Institution, with this horrific reputation for violence and bullying. So I've took my clothes off and I'm standing there naked as a 15-year-old boy and they're just looking at me. And I turn round, bend down, get up, and then they clothe me. They give me a prison tracksuit. And then they open this door and they say, go in there. And I go in this room and I sit down on a bench and there's a TV covered by plastic and there's about 10 black boys in there. I'm the only white boy in there. And they give you a pie. The officer gives you a pie. Straight away, immediately, two of the guys who got up, they say, give me a fucking pie. I'm like, what? He's like, give me a fucking pie. I'm like, I'm starving hungry. I'm not going to give you my pie. So I just start eating it. He's like, you fucking pussy. So now it just feels really intense. I feel helpless. I feel like I'm going to be attacked. But they never attacked me. They're just trying to intimidate me. I'm completely out of my comfort zone. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what to anticipate. I'm just in a constant state of fear, confusion, and uncomfortable, excruciating anticipation. Just expecting something terrible to happen at any moment. So they open the door and they take me out and they walk me to a wing, a prison unit. And I'm walking down this dark, green, gloomy corridor. And as we're walking, it's just bricks and bars, and it's snowing, yeah? You can see like the fence and the grass, and it's all snowing. And I'm walking just terrified. They open the door, we walk onto this unit, and it's just all green. Everything's green. Everyone's locked up. All the children are locked up. They open this door and I could see on the door there was 4 cell cards with 3 names on. So it's a 4-man cell, or they call it a 4-man dorm. In you go, that's what they say. They say in you go, and you walk into this cell and there's 3 kids in there, all just looking at me. They're all staring at me. They're all looking at my stuff, the bag that I've got. I don't think I had much, but they're all looking at this bag. They're eyeing me up. Fuck, how did this happen? Like, what is going on? The door's shut, and then the fear just hits you. You know, I'm now locked in with these 3 kids. I'm 15. These kids are 16, 17. They're big, they're strong, they're lively, they're chattering away. They're interrogating me, they're questioning me. Where are you from? What are you in for? How old are you? Have you got any tobacco? Have you got any toiletries? Don't make us put you under the bed. Don't make us put you under the bed. They're threatening to put me under the bed. They're threatening to tie me up. They're demanding that I have arm wrestles. They're demanding that I have a press-up competition with them. You know, it's just relentless, and it's going on all night long. And it was just a nightmare. It was just a total nightmare. I was 15 years old. I was terrified, and I'm now locked in this cell overnight with these 3 kids who are just like abusing me. They're abusing me. And you've got an emergency cell bell on the wall, but I couldn't press it because I was too scared to even get up and go and press the bell, yeah? Shit. What the fuck am I going to do? So this went on for about a week, and it became a bit easier because I kind of befriended them, and it kind of leveled off a bit, you know, this relentless abuse. Then the screws opened my door and moved me to Swallow unit. So all the units, all the wings, they're the names of birds: swallow, osprey, lapwing, heron. So they've moved me to Swallow unit. Again, I don't know what's going on. They've just opened my door, said come with us, and they've moved me onto Swallow unit, and they've put me into a cell with my friend. who I went there with. So it was a bit easier because I'm in with my friend. I'm like, I'm in with my friend. Then after a week or two, he got into some trouble, and I'm in this cell. They put another cellmate in there because my other friend got carted off. And then after about a week, they've opened the door and they've moved me into another cell. They've moved me into a cell with an Indian lad. So I'm in the cell with an Indian lad, and I'm just in the cell, locked up all the time with this other 15-year-old Indian lad. Then after a week, they've opened my door again, and they moved me to another cell with a black boy. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Musical cells? Like every week they're opening my door and they're putting me into another cell with someone else. Someone else of a different race, a different background from me. And then something happened. So we're going to get canteen. They open your door and you can go to the prison shop, yeah? You can go to the prison shop. And I'm like, okay, so I can go and buy some stuff. I can buy some cake. I can get some tobacco, have a smoke. And I had a smoke for like 3 weeks. So we're going to the prison shop, and then you queue up and you come back with the stuff in bags. So I'm going to the prison shop, walking down this green, dark, gloomy corridor. And as you walk in, like other groups of prisoners are walking past, it's very intense, very intimidating. Everyone's eyeballing you, everyone's sizing you up. You know, like sizing up their prey. And we get to the prison shop. The queue goes down, and then I'm there, and they're like, right, you got 20 quid, 30 quid in your spends, you can, what do you want, yeah? So the guy's like, what do you want? I'm like, tobacco, yeah? I want some tobacco, I want Golden Virginia, I want tobacco. So he's looked on the bit of paper. Sorry, mate, you're not old enough. What the fuck? I'm not old enough? You're not old enough. You're 15. You've got to be 16 to smoke. And I just felt crushed. Like, I can't even buy tobacco. I can't even have a smoke. I can't even have a roller to take some of this stress away. So I bought like ginger cake, shreddies, milk, sugar, tea. I'm buying all these things, Radox, shower gel. And I've got these 2 big white bags of canteen. And I'm walking back. Now, down these corridors, you'll be with 1 or 2 screws who's escorting us. But there's blind spots. Like, you might go around a corner. Now, the guys in there who've been there for a while, they know all these blind spots, and they know when the screw walks around a corner, they know they've got a few seconds to intimidate someone, to attack someone, to bully someone. And this big, tall lad, you know, he's looking at my stuff, he's like, I want your fucking canteen, yeah? I want your shreddies. Bring your shreddies to my door, yeah? And I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, this guy's he's going to steal my stuff. He's going to attack me. And then we've come up onto the unit, and I couldn't see him. Like, everyone's walking to their cells. Everyone's walking back onto the unit. Everyone's dispersed from the prison escort, from the officer, the screw, and everyone's going to their cells. And I walk into my door, and he's appeared. He was actually next door to me. He was in the cell next door. And he's just appeared at my door. He's like, give me your shreddies. I want your shreddies. And I shut the door. And he's like that. He's like that in my flat. I'm going to fucking get you. I'm going to have you. And I'm just happy to be in a cell with my stuff, yeah? He hasn't got my stuff, yeah? So I put my stuff on my table. I've come out. They've opened the door a few hours later. Association. So this is where we play pool, table tennis, sit and watch the TV. I've come out. I've got my towel, my Radox, and I want a shower. Yeah, I've got to have a shower. I've got to try and keep myself clean, yeah? And I'm still in a constant state of fear, confusion, excruciating anticipation that just something horrific's going to happen at any moment. I've walked in the shower. As I've walked in the shower, it's all steamed up, but I could see silhouettes. I could see people, you know, there's a cleaner in there with a mop bucket, a plastic mop bucket. And before I got into the shower, like, as I come out, all I can see is black. That's all I can see, is green and black, yeah? There's like 4 or 5 white boys on the wing. Everyone else is black. And I make this point because the school that I grew up in, the school that I went to, the high school, for a year before I got expelled, there was only 2 black people in my school. There was 1,000 pupils, and it was 2 black people, a boy and a girl who were brother and sister. So I'm not used to this. It's such a culture shock. It's such a massive, massive culture shock. And there's no more bullying that goes on there than when I've been to other young offenders institutions up north, like Onley, which are predominantly white. If anything, Onley was arguably worse sometimes on some of the wings, like H wing. Very violent, 12, 13, 14 alarm bells a day. Lots of Coventry lads, Leicester lads, a few Manchester lads. So, this is a big culture shock. All I can see is green, the colours of the wing, and black. That's all I can see, black faces, yeah? So I've walked into the shower, and my intention is to just have a shower. And then it's just like, bang! Like I've just been hit. I don't know where it's come from, but it hurt, and it hurt a lot. And he's hit me like on the side of the face, yeah? And then I just heard a voice. He's like, what you got for me? What you got for me? And I'm confused. There's sweat pouring down my face. There was no blood because he's just hit me like in the cheek. And he's like, you pussy hole. He's calling me a pussy hole, yeah? And I just grabbed my shower kit, tried to grab my towel. And then, like, he's kicked me, but it didn't really hurt, but I think he might have kneed me. He's like, kneed me. And I've looked up, and I saw a screw. I saw a prison officer at the window looking. And there's actually CCTV in the showers on Swallow Unit in Feltham. The CCTV. The officers can sit in the office and just watch, and they're watching, and they can see what's going on in the showers. That's probably why he's come, yeah? Because he's seen this guy hit me. So this is the guy who's trying to get the shreddies off me, get my canteen, extort me, yeah? Now, as I've seen this officer at the window, I just felt relief and hope. I felt like, he's come to save me, he's going to protect me. He fucking walked off. What the fuck? He walked off. And then you're just immersed in that, like, horrible, uncomfortable feeling of that realization that the person or persons there that are responsible for my care are not helping me. Welcome to Gladiator School. Welcome to Feltham Young Offenders Institution. And that's when it hit me. I'm in a gladiator school where officers will allow people to fight. They'll watch it. They will encourage it. They will, and when you're that age and you're 15, 16, 17, it's such a big age gap. The 16, 17-year-olds look huge. You're 15. And it's such a big age gap. If you're in year 9 at high school and someone in year 10 wants to fight you, you're scared. If someone in year 11 wants to fight you and you're in year 9, you're terrified. So all of these profound, intense experiences, it's like part of a jigsaw puzzle. And I'm now in the cell, in my head, putting together all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle of this gladiator school that is YOI Feltham. They're moving me from cell to cell to cell on a weekly basis. 1 minute I'm in with an Indian, then a black guy, then a tall black guy. They're putting me in these cells and then betting on the outcome, yeah? On the anticipation that there's going to be a fight and betting on who wins the fight. And this all came out in 2001 when somebody, Zahid Mubarak, was murdered by Robert Stewart, a white supremacist racist. They put them in a cell together, bet on the outcome, and then Robert Stewart beat Mubarak to death with a table leg. So they're playing this game, Gladiator School, Coliseum, moving me from cell to cell, betting on the outcome. The whole time I'm in this cell dealing with these crazy situations. I'm never thinking to myself, I'm never going to do this again, the crime I committed. I'm not thinking about that. I'm so concerned and immersed in what's current, you know, what's happening right now. I never thought about that stuff. And on top of that, at no point am I being challenged. Yeah, no officers, none of the staff there are challenging me about my beliefs, my attitude, my pro-criminal thinking. None of them are challenging me about my lifestyle that led to me being incarcerated as a young offender at that time. I'm not being challenged about it. I'm just dealing with constant bullying, abuse, extortion, people attacking me, officers. What's happened next? So I've been nicked. Yes, I've been placed on report for fights with any person. Yeah. So the situation in the showers has ended. The 3 officers have come in, grabbed me, grabbed the other guy, and they've placed me on report for fighting. Me, when I was attacked, but they placed me on report for fights with any person. So I'm now on report. Again, they've moved me to a cell. They put me in a single cell on the one's landing of Swallow unit. The cell that I was in had no windows. The sink was smashed off and the tap would come on, but then all the water would go on the floor. So I'm in this cell and it was freezing. When I say freezing, I mean freezing. It's like it's colder in the cell than it is outside. When you breathe, all the air comes out, yeah? The water goes all over the floor. I'm in this cell on my own. And this is the first time that at this point in Feltham where I've been on my own in a cell on my own. And it was like 10 times more intense because I'm just existing in a constant state of fear, yeah? Dreading the doors opening, dreading the prison doors opening. And when the doors open for lunch, dinner or association, you can hear them opening doors upstairs and it's coming around to you, and that feeling of, oh, they're going to open my door any minute, please don't open my door. But you know it's coming like a big monster creeping up on you. And the doors are opening and the noise gets closer and closer, the keys, the banging, and then bang, they open your door. And your door's open and then you're just helpless. You've just got this chaos going on, the noise, the shouting, the screaming, the fighting. Now, I'm in this cell on my own and I'm on report. Yeah, so I'm on report. So they've opened my door and I've gone down to get my dinner. Now, they used to give us ginger cake, Jamaican ginger cake in small little squares. This is 1997, Christmas time. I'm 15 years old. I'm a 15-year-old child. I'm in Feltham. It's crazy. It's chaotic. The staff are abusive. The prisoners are abusive. It's rife with bullying, rife with fighting. Prison officers are betting on the outcome of putting 2 prisoners together in a cell, or 2 children in a cell together, betting on the outcome. And you've got on the servery, you've got the prisoners lined up behind the servery giving out the food. So I'm starving hungry. We've got to the cake. He's put the cake in the bowl and he says to me, "Let me have your cake." I'm like, what? The person giving me the cake is asking me for the cake. I said, no mate. He's like, "Give me your fucking cake." And like next to him, he's probably got loads of cakes where he's just taking them off people, you know? Give me your cake. And then he's looking at the screw, and the screw's like over there somewhere. And he's like, "Why are you fucking baiting me up for? Don't fucking bait me up, you know? Give me your fucking cake. Why are you hotting me up? Don't bait me up with a screw. Give me your fucking cake." I'm like, "No, I want the cake." And he just gives me the cake. And this stuff is just relentless. It's all day long, constantly being challenged. People constantly trying to victimise you. People constantly trying to take your stuff. People constantly trying to work an angle on you. People constantly trying to intimidate you, bully you, take things off you. It's relentless. It's all day long. It never stops. The whole time you're there, it never stops. So I'm in this cell on my own. It's freezing cold. I've got socks, 2 pairs of socks on my hands. I've got 2 prison tracksuits on, 2 pairs of socks on my feet. I'm underneath this thin, paper thin green prison sheet, and then a prison blanket, a green prison blanket that's about so thin like that. And I'm just shivering, freezing cold, yeah? Under this blanket, shivering. And then all I can hear is boom, 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 boom. Oi, next door, come to your fucking window. Oi, downstairs, come to your fucking window. Yo, number 14, come to your fucking window, blood. I'm like, are they talking to me? They're talking about me. And I'm just terrified like that. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Do I need to go to my window? What happens if I come to my window? Come to your fucking window, blood, or we're going to fucking do you in the morning. Now they're threatening me. They're saying if I don't come to my window, they're going to attack me in the morning. So my mind's just racing 100 miles an hour. So I've got these visions of being attacked in the morning for not coming to my window. And I'm freezing cold, I'm scared, I'm terrified. Boom, boom, boom. It's so loud, I'm half expecting a prisoner to come through the wall. Like I'm expecting any moment to see a prisoner come through the wall and just come through the bricks because the banging is so loud. Boom, boom, boom. Come to your fucking window. So I've got out of the sheets, I'm freezing cold. I breathe and all the air comes out, you can see the air. I look out the window, I can see the fence in the distance. It's snow, all the grass is just covered in snow and you can see this fence with the barbed wire right in the distance. And I'm just sitting there, standing at the window. I'm standing at the window and I'm thinking, how did this happen? Like, how am I in this situation? Just confused, scared, petrified, freezing cold. So I put my mouth to this window, there's a gap like this, I put my mouth, yeah, and it's just noise, all you can hear is all these voices shouting, oh, number 14, is that number 14? Yeah, what's up? Where you from? Norwich. They all burst out laughing. Where the fuck is Norwich? They're all discussing it, yo, it's in the northeast. Nah, it's like near Birmingham. Yo, I think it's in Scotland, you know. Where the fuck is Norwich? So like these children, 15, 16, 17 years old, unless you're from London, and unless it's like a city, a well-known city like, I don't know, Birmingham, Manchester, like they haven't heard of these places. Because they're all from London, and they're only kids. So they never heard of Norwich. They're like, where the fuck's that? So I explained to them, I'm saying, if you look on the map of Great Britain, on the weather, look on the weather, even though there wasn't TVs, but I'm saying imagine in your head a map of England, Great Britain, and then the bit that comes out on the side, East Anglia, that's Norwich, yeah, right in the middle of that big bit on the side. They're like, right. What canteen you got in your cell? Have you got a radio? Have you got a Walkman? Yo, bring your shit out in the morning, you know? Like, and it's just non-stop, relentless, yeah? And it's going on for ages and ages and ages. And I was quite lucky because I used to listen to ragga music. So on Saturday night, I think it was Saturday night, 12 till 2 or 2 till 4, it was after the Tim Westwood show. This is 1997, Christmas, Saturday night, 12 till 2 or 2 till 4, the Chris Goldfinger ragga show. And I used to listen to it all the time, yeah? So one of them was like, what music do you like? And I was like, ragga, I like ragga. And I reeled off a few artists, a few tunes that I knew. And they were like, yeah, we know that song. Yeah, we know that artist. And it was such a relief because it was like they accepted me. And I kind of won them over because of the mutual interest in a specific genre of music, yeah? So it was such a relief, such a good feeling. And they're like, I remember one of them was like, this guy's all right, you know, he's all right, yeah? So another time, so this is very close to the time that I'm talking about. I'm under this adjudication. I'm waiting to go to the segregation unit. Now, I think I'm going to the segregation the next day, yeah? So I'm on lockdown. I'm on GOAD, yeah? So I'm on like this thing where I only come out on my own, yeah? So I'm coming out on my own. I come out on my own for dinner. Everyone else is banged up, apart from a couple of screws, probably a senior officer, and then you've got the servery workers giving out the ginger cake and giving out the pies and the food and all that. I've got my food. I'm walking back to my cell, this freezing cold cell with no windows and half a sink. And the prison officer, so the prison officers there, they wear polo shirts, they wear polo shirts, they don't wear white shirts with black ties, they wear black trousers, black boots, and polo shirts with a logo, HMYY Feltham, yeah? He's walking me back to my cell, and I said something to him, but I can't even remember what it was. It was so insignificant, I can't even remember, yeah? But I said something to him that he didn't like, yeah? And he just switched on me. He just switched it up immediately. He's grabbed me around the throat like this. All my food's gone all over the floor. He's grabbed me by the throat. He's dragged me across this big open space, like the shape of the wings in Feltham are kind of like that. They're like weird shapes, yeah? So he's dragged me across this space, threw me up against the wall. I'm terrified, yeah, because these are the people that are supposed to, or I would have expected to, or hoped to have supported and helped me. And he's switching on me. And he's dragged me up against the wall. My food's gone everywhere. He's dragged me up against the wall. He's come right up to my face like this, yeah? Nose to nose with me. Don't fucking run your mouth up to me, son. I've run the streets of London and I've got the fucking stab wounds to prove it. And he's lifting up his shirt like that, yeah? I'm like, sorry, I'm sorry. You know, I'm thinking I didn't know what he's going to do. I thought he might rape me, attack me, beat me up. And then he's grabbed me, threw me in my cell. I've got no food. And I'm in the cell like that. Fuck. So it's now time for me to go on this nicking, this adjudication. So they've escorted me to the segregation unit, 8 o'clock in the morning. I've gone in there. I go into this room. It's a long table. Proper like Shawshank Redemption turnout. Long table. You've got a governor, a man in a suit, and he just looks at you like this. I've got a screw there. They both look like that, and they're both eyeballing me like this. Yeah, I'm 15 years old. I'm a child, 15 years old. They've read out the charge, fights with any person. I said, not guilty. I'm not guilty. The officer sat there. He said he came into the showers. I was fighting. I got found guilty, and they gave me, I think it was 5 days cellular confinement, CC, right? Which means I'm in isolation in a segregation unit for 23 and a half hours a day, and I come out for a shower, a phone call, and a bit of time on the exercise yard, yeah? So a couple of years ago in 2016, so this is, nearly 20 years after I was there, 19 years after I was there, the European Court of Human Rights have condemned Feltham and the British government for holding children in solitary, and they're still doing it now. They're still getting away with it. So I'm in this solitary cell, right? And days turn to night, nights turn to day. Crash! 8 o'clock in the morning. Get up. So I'm like all disorientated. I'm getting up. I'm in my boxer shorts. I've got up. Bring your mattress to the end cell. What? Bring your mattress to the end cell. Bring my mattress to the end cell? I'm asleep. I want to go back to sleep. I want to go back to bed. Bring your mattress to the end cell, son. So of course I do what he tells me, I wake up all tired, I'm in my boxer shorts, I don't know what's going on, my head's spinning, I've been in isolation all night, just alone, this incredible, intense feeling of loneliness, fear, isolation, helpless, hopeless, confusion. And I'm dragging this big blue prison mattress down to the end cell. And I've put it in the end cell, and he's took me back to my cell. In you go, son. And I'm sitting on the metal frame of the bed until 5 o'clock. Until 5 o'clock. 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock in the evening. Sitting on the metal frame. Like this. Bored out of my fucking mind. So I'm sitting on this metal frame, tired, exhausted, disorientated, cold. It's the middle of winter, and I'm sitting there every day for 5 days in a row, from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 p.m. in the evening, bored as hell. Interestingly, in Europe's toughest prison, in Vladimir Putin's Black Dolphin prison in Russia, serial killers and murderers are detained in conditions very similar to the conditions in which the British government detain 15-year-old children in the segregation unit at Feltham Young Offenders Institution. The serial killers and murderers in Vladimir Putin's Black Dolphin prison in Russia, very similar to Feltham. In the morning, the officers come in, they take the mattress, and they force the prisoners to stand up and not lay on their beds throughout the whole day. If they're caught, because there's CCTV in the cells, if they're caught trying to lay down on the metal frame, then the officers will come in and beat them up. So don't believe the hype. Don't believe what you hear in the mainstream media or on talk radio or LBC. Make no mistake, children are held in Feltham Young Offenders Institution here in England, in London, in the UK, in conditions in solitary confinement as the worst serial killers and murderers in the toughest man's adults prison in Russia at Black Dolphin. Fact. So I'm in the cell, I'm in isolation, I'm bored out of my mind's going 1,000 miles an hour. I'm so bored, it's just unreal. I've got my mattress back, it's the evening, it's dark, it's the middle of winter, it's dark at 5 o'clock. And I'm in the cell, and I'm laying on the mattress. Boom! 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 Oi, next door, come to your fucking window. Oi, next door, come to your window. So I jump up, I go to the window, and it's just a metal frame with tiny little squares you can just put your fingers through, yeah? And you look out of that metal frame and it's just filthy dirty. All the windows, they open like this much, they're all blocked up with cigarette butts, roll-up butts, sugar sachet packets, dirt, filth, biro lids, toilet roll, you name it, it's there, and they're all blocked up. So the next door's called me to the window. Oi, next door, send me a kite. A kite? What the fuck is a kite? Send me a kite. I said, I don't know what a kite is. He's like, I'll send you a kite. So I'm like, all right, okay, you send me a kite. He's like, have you got any Bible paper? Bible paper? Yeah, I've got a Bible. I can send you some Bible paper. Send me some Bible paper and I'll send you a roll-up. So I'm like, that sounds good, that sounds good. So basically a kite is the prison cover that you put on your bed, the blanket that I mentioned earlier. It's made up of long bits of cotton. So you rip the cotton with your teeth, tie all the bits together, and you've got a long line. Now a kite is that long line of cotton made out of the prison blanket with a bit of tissue, a bit of prison toilet roll on the end. And he will feed that through his window and he will wait for the wind to blow it. Now, I will stick a pen or a toilet brush out and I'll try and catch the kite. But you're waiting for the wind, so you're standing at the window for hours waiting for the wind. And you're chatting at the window. I don't know who this guy is. He doesn't know who I am. You can't see each other's faces, so it's just a voice. You're just talking with your voices. You're communicating with your voices. So I'm standing there, I'm freezing cold at this window with this metal frame, you know, trying to get this kite in, and then you miss it, and you just about get it, and it blows away. or you can see it down there and it might be blowing up, but you just can't catch it. When I caught it, it was such an amazing feeling of like achievement and relief. You know, I've got this, I've pulled it in. And the next door he's shouting at me, don't drop it, you know, don't drop it. If you drop it, there's going to be trouble. Don't drop the fucking kite, mate. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to drop it. I'm not going to drop it. So now I've pulled the kite in and I tie it to the metal frame. So we've now got what is called a pulley. We've got a pulley from window to window where we can send each other things through this tiny little square gap by pulling the line in, adding more line to it and making a pulley. And you can leave it tied up there overnight, yeah? So I've sent him the Bible paper. He sent me a roll-up, a match and a strike. So I've made the roll-up, smoked it with Genesis 4.2 because it's Bible paper and not Rizla. So I'm smoking this roll-up with Genesis 4.2, smoking it, and it just made me so dizzy. It made me feel a bit sick, but it was still a nice feeling, and I just relaxed on my bed like this. So I've left the segregation unit and I've been taken to yet another wing called Heron Unit. So I'm on Heron Unit. I'm in the cell 3 minutes. I'm only in the cell 3 minutes. Boom, boom. Oi, next door. Oi, next door. Send me a fucking magazine. Bring your magazines out at tea time. You know, this stuff is just all day long. It's relentless from the moment you get there until the moment that you leave. Eventually I left there. I was transferred to another young offenders institution called Warren Hill in East Anglia. And, you know, I must say, when I reflect on my time in Feltham, I must reiterate, at no point was I ever challenged in any way, shape or form by any professional member of staff who I met or came across or engaged with throughout my entire time in Feltham Young Offenders Institution. I was never challenged, not once that I can recall being challenged about my lifestyle before coming to prison, my family situation, my education situation. I was never challenged on any of the pro-criminal thinking or beliefs or attitude that I displayed in the commission of the index offence which led me to become incarcerated in Feltham Young Offenders Institution in the first place. When I was finally released, I committed more crime than I'd ever committed up until that point before. I was back in prison within only a few months. It didn't work. It made me worse. And all the time in the media we hear this narrative, you know, prison's too easy, it should be tougher, and that society just doesn't understand the reality that when the state harms children or harms prisoners in their institutions, the state is in effect and in essence harming society. When the state also harms the prisoners and children in the care of the state in said institutions, that also does not offer proportionate justice to the victim of the crime that the people that they're abusing in these institutions have committed the crime against. Yeah. Also, the state creates in young offenders institutions like Feltham chronic lifetime recidivists and create a conveyor belt of future victims. And children and young people who leave Feltham inevitably, because of all of the things I've mentioned and the fact that it's a school of crime, a breeding ground for criminality, they leave these institutions and then they commit further offences, and in some cases very serious offences, and they come out and harm society. They don't come out and help society, and they don't come out and they don't come out behaving in a way that is any consistent with the prison service mission statement for these young offenders institutions, which is to treat those detained by the courts with dignity and detain them and to help them lead law-abiding and useful lives. I'm going to finish this video with a message for Bramer89, who contacted me today, who is dealing with a situation where he's quite worried and concerned that he might end up going into Feltham Young Offenders Institution because he's got in trouble with the law, yeah? And he asked me for advice, so that's why I've done this video. I've been in touch with somebody who's been involved with Feltham for up to 30 years. Recently they told me that nothing's changed in Feltham, it's still the same, it's still gladiator school, it's still rife with bullying, it's still endemic with institutional racism. officers there still perpetrate abuse against the children there that they are in charge of their care. So, that doesn't surprise me, because there's no accountability in these institutions, like I've spoke about in other videos. Without accountability, you can't have justice, and without the implementation of a policy or procedure or a monitoring type effective channel to monitor the conduct of prison officers, then if nothing changes, nothing changes. So my advice to Bramer 89, if he's going into Feltham Young Offenders Institution, is as follows. Don't talk to anybody unless they talk to you. Don't be friendly with anybody, because they'll just try and work angles. Be respectful to other prisoners. If they do talk to you and you talk back, be respectful. Do not ever mouth off or be abusive or offensive to the prison officers, because they will make your life a living hell. Despise the free lunch, the 48 laws of power. Nothing, my friend, in life is for free. If somebody says, here, I'll have some coffee, mate, have some sugar, say no thanks, even if you've got none. Say, I've got plenty of sugar and coffee, I don't need anything, I'm okay, thanks. Despise the free lunch. Eye contact is very important. Don't be timid and look away. If someone engages you, make an effort not to make eye contact, but if somebody makes eye contact with you, hold their gaze. Hold their gaze for a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds, but not an intimidating way, in a way that just shows them, look, I'm not scared, because they're always looking for that little bit of fear to just jump on and take advantage of. They're always looking for a weakness, so hold the gaze 5 seconds and then look away, in a non-intimidating way, but in a strong, assertive manner. Keep things very simple. Self-love is the secret. Self-love is the key. Keep yourself busy. Do press-ups, sit-ups in your cell. Read if you can't read. Write if you can't write. Draw, paint, make matchstick models out of matchsticks. Keep yourself busy. Get up in the morning, make your bed, clean your cell, clean it again. Be immaculately presented. Shave every day. Always be respectful to the officers. Now, I can't condone violence here at Crime and Justice TV. I just can't do it. It's not something that I support, and not something that I ever will support. Having said that, the conditions of the environment that you're going into, this unforgiving environment of gladiator school, coliseum, fighting, abuse, people challenging you, people trying to bully you, victimize you, you have to deal with it like this. So work from a basic fundamental of, I'm not going to lay my hands on anybody first, okay? I'm never going to attack anybody. If somebody attacks you, you're entitled to defend yourself. Now, you need to nip the bullying in the bud sooner rather than later, or it will make your time in Feltham 10 times worse. So if it comes to the crunch and people are trying to bully you and victimise you and take your canteen off you and take your commissary, you've got to fight. It's got to be done, otherwise your time there, it would just be just so much worse. But never attack first, stand your ground, and as soon as somebody lays a hand on you, just fight. And just give it everything you've got. You have to do this, because otherwise you'll be a victim. So never attack anybody first, but if someone puts their hands on you, show them that you'll fight. And it is kind of true, after that people will generally leave you alone, That is kind of true in these young offenders institutions. You might have to have 3 or 4 or 5 fights before people leave you alone, but eventually people will leave you alone, Now, the prison is not going to help you. Nothing in Feltham is going to help you, okay? It's not going to help you deal with the issues that led you to come to the institution in the first place. Prisons can't even help themselves at this moment in time in modern 21st century Great Britain. They're cesspits of humanity. They are enduring a drug epidemic of proportions never seen before in modern criminal justice history. They have a self-harm epidemic, a mental health epidemic, suicides are through the roof. Staff that are leaving right, left and centre, so there's now been an influx of new staff who, a lot of them are being corrupted, a lot of them are having sex with inmates. So there's nothing in place in Feltham that's going to help you. So you have to take responsibility, and you have to make the decision to allow the time that you would spend in Feltham to help you, okay? Become an artist, become expert in fitness, become an expert in nutritional knowledge. get books, read about history, just take something positive from that experience. And that would be my advice to you if you go into Feltham, but let's hope that doesn't happen. So I hope you enjoyed my video about my first time in Feltham Young Offenders Institution. This is Pepsi Watson at Crime and Justice TV. I wish you all good health and prosperity, and may you love by recognising yourself in others.